This presentation is on tools for engaging classroom laptop users, and I'll go over a little bit what that means in a minute. But I'm Austin Greathouse, by the way, marketing coordinator for Cali. And first thing, a little bit about these webinars. Cali's going to host these every 2 weeks or so. We're going to do some topic on technology, mostly a how-to or instructions of using technology. We're flexible on topics, so if you have any questions or if you have any ideas, let us know. And we might even ask you to present something. But you can find these archived. We've already done 2 or 3 at calivideos.blip.tv. So that's where this one will be when we're all done. So look for that. This is who's on the call. That's me doing my best male model pose there. And John, Mayor. And that's John Mayer on the right. He's our executive director. That's how you can contact us. A little bit about me. I'm not an academic. I'm not a librarian or a tech guy. I'm just a former student. So you may be wondering why John actually asked me to do this, but I think it's because I don't have much experience with these 2 technologies, so they're pretty easy to use, and I think you'll see that if I can pick them up, you can certainly pick them up. So this presentation, and I stole this from John, your royalties are on the way. It's not a debate on laptops in the classroom. I'm really approaching it from the standpoint of students really use laptops. You know, there's no way around that in the classroom. They definitely bring some positives, like taking notes more easily. But they also bring some negatives, which is, again, I stole that from John, the distractions that they cause. So what we're doing with this presentation, going over 2 specific online tools that you can use in your classroom. We're going to go step by step about how to use them. Very basic stuff. So if you're an advanced user of this stuff, or if you understand it pretty well, this might be easy. If you've never used it before, this might be helpful. The first thing we're going to be talking about is Google Moderator, and that's the website for Google Moderator. And this is the way we're going to field some questions too, just so you guys can get a feel of what it's like to be out in the audience and using this. So because it creates pretty crazy URLs, I created one with tinyURL. I'd like everybody to go there to that website listed there, tinyurl.com/CaliModeratorWebinar. Just access that. And you should see a screen once you're there that looks like a little bit like this. If you have a Google account, you'll need to log in, but you'll be able to see these questions that I already put a couple questions in. They're just to show you that's what it looks like. You'll be able to vote on those questions, and at the end of this presentation, if anybody has any questions, I will look at those and try to answer those, or maybe John can answer them. But I'd also like for you to vote on them, again, just to get an idea of how this works. Okay, and again, that URL is right down here. Now let me demonstrate a little bit how I actually set that up. So the idea behind Google Moderator is that it's a tool for fielding questions from an audience, and the audience gets to vote on those questions, and then the moderator of the class or the presentation or the meeting can take a look at those and see what people want to hear. And again, let me show you that URL. I see that some of you are struggling to get that. Like I said, the idea is to field questions from an audience and at the end come back and look at those. So the way I'd see a professor using this is putting this up a few days before class and have students put in some questions and keeping it up during class and at the end of class or in the middle when convenient, taking a look at questions that students have. So once again, that's what you should be seeing. And how I set that up, I just went to the website, which is moderator.appspot.com. You have to sign in with your Google account. And once you're there, to create the question tool, push create series, put in the title. You can put in a description here, and you can also invite other people to be owners of that series. In other words, they could submit their own questions and create their own questions. You also have the choice of letting people submit questions anonymously or not. I'm just going to click that. Again, this is for testing purposes. So that's pretty much all it takes to create it. I've created the meeting, and I'll be able to field questions with this. You can share that by pushing the share button right here, and it brings up a link. So you could just email that to your students. And you can also post your own questions. And so once that is all done, I'm going to go back into the one I created earlier. Once that is done, students can go in and vote on it, on the questions they want, and to go back and look at those questions and those votes, you log back into your account, Google Moderator, push View the Questions here, and here you have the screen that lists these. I actually see a good question right now by Gene. Are these spaces private? The answer is no. These are actually public, so anyone can see them. So that is basically Google Moderator. Pretty easy stuff. Again, if you have questions, go ahead and post your questions. And I can also post responses through the web, but we're going to do this live, so don't need to do that. So, switch screens. Another interesting thing about Google Moderator is that its most famous user, Barack Obama, just implemented that into a town hall meeting. So, pretty interesting. Again, this is just a step-by-step process broken down for you. The professor just logs in, uses the username, pushes create a series, shares the link with students, and then checks voting results whenever they want to answer questions. The student just follows that shared link, logs in using the username and password, and can submit questions or vote on already submitted questions. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next topic. First, a little bit about clickers, though. This is related to our next one, and where we got the idea for InstaPoll, actually. I think a lot of professors like the idea of engaging students with clickers, but of course there are some problems with that. There's the money issue. There's the fact that they have to go through training, which can be pretty frustrating, of course, for everyone involved. So what Cali wanted to do is create something that's easy to use, that anyone can use, that doesn't have any sort of investment. It doesn't cost anything, and it's online. So we created InstaPoll, which is really genius in its simplicity, but it could be a pretty powerful tool. So what I'm going to do is switch back over to my other screen. Now I need everybody to go to the InstaPoll website, which is www.cali.org/InstaPoll. It's cali.org/InstaPoll. And I'm going to do the same. So from a professor's point of view, pretty easy to create a poll. Just click this button, create a poll, of course, then leave that screen up. And the next thing you would do is ask a question. So this is the question I'm going to ask. Feel free to give feedback on that. And what you need to do as the student, go to cali.org/InstaPoll. So cali.org/InstaPoll, and put in that poll number that I had earlier, which is 1258. So again, that's 1258 to join the poll. You can see as people vote, the question or the answers pop right up there as they come in. And again, here are the questions. And just to show you again what I'm seeing on my screen, so the way you could use this is put it up on an overhead projector, keep it up during class, kind of engage the students throughout the lecture. The good thing about it is you can keep up the same screen. Just hit reset if you want to ask another question. So I'm going to ask a different question to show you how that works. So now you can vote on this one.
You know, Austin, I just thought of a feature that we should add to InstaPoll.
What's that?
You should be able to type www.cali.org/InstaPoll/ the poll number and just go right to the page where you can just click. And that would even like reduce the number of clicks by by one more.
I like it.
And I know that Sam who coded InstaPoll is on this call, so I know he's listening.
All right. So again, I'll show you guys what I'm seeing as the administrator of this poll. See, that's what I see. So it looks like most of you know professors who ban laptops. So that is a pretty good idea of InstaPoll. So again, it's a real easy process. Just a couple of clicks. Cali.org/InstaPoll. Click the Create a Poll button. Give the students the poll number. Keep the screen open and watch for results, and hit reset with each new question. You can keep asking questions throughout the class. And then for the student, it's 4 easy steps. Cali.org/InstaPoll, the poll number, and then vote as your professor asks the question. So I'm going to go back over to Google Moderator, see if any of you had any questions.
There's a question from Stuart Sierra, who says, how long do Cali InstaPoll links last? And the answer is as long as you want, kinda. But I think the intention is that you would use them up within like an hour or so. I don't know if there's actually a timeout because of the session ID or anything going on there. I'll have to get back to you on that. But the idea is that the idea is that this would be used pretty fast and then it goes away. So a few minutes is what was our thinking there.
Right, and I think as long as you keep the screen up.
Yeah, the
stays up there.
Screen.
As soon as you log out, though, it's gone as a professor, right?
So it's not meant for survey.
Right. So it's not meant for it's not like a replacement for SurveyMonkey or other type of longer lasting polls. Hence the name, InstaPoll.
Right. Okay. We have another question. This is more John's. Have you thought about tying in a text message from a phone into InstaPoll?
Sure have. The problem is timing. It takes a few seconds for a text message to get through a computer interface, and then across the web. Because we've looked at some tools that do this, and it takes a minute in the best case. And when you're doing a poll and you got to wait 60 seconds or 2 minutes or something, it kind of ruins the instantaneousness of it. So it's not as cool or as awesome as it might seem. Of course, you probably could build an InstaPoll if everybody in the room had an iPhone. But of course, not everybody in the room is going to have an iPhone, and so we're looking at that, but we're not quite there yet.
Okay. Here's another good question from Thaddeus. What about the 10 to 25% of the students who don't have or bring a laptop? They can actually participate by using their friend's laptop. What you can do as a student, actually, is open up another tab or another window with another browser and vote in 2 different ways, and it will still show up. So that actually can work in that way.
Yep. Of course, that does then introduce the problem of one student can vote many times. If they wanted to, I guess, what's the word? If they wanted to stuff the InstaPoll box.
Right. But we're not really looking at scientific surveys here. We're just trying to get students involved. So.
Exactly.
Let's see what else we got.
I mean, there's billions of features we could add to this, but we've been very resistant to the idea so far, just because we don't want to clutter this with features. We really want this to be instant and not require training.
Okay, so another question we got is, what's the number at the top of the InstaPoll? The number, let's see. John, do you know what that is?
You mean the one on the right? That's the poll number. So it's just a randomly assigned number when the instructor goes in and clicks create a poll.
Yeah, there's a number actually at the top of my A, B, C, D, E, F for the student login.
Oh, I see.
Mine's number 14.
Mine's 1. I don't know. I'll have to ask Sam what he's doing to us.
It's probably not an important thing, but I think it's just maybe the order that someone logged in. So, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I just joined your poll, and I'm number 29. And if I saw on your GoToMeeting, there was like about 28 people. So yeah, it must be the number of people who are responding to this particular poll. So Sam, we figured it out.
All right, that looks like we've got most of the questions.
You want to open it for questions on the call?
Yeah, if anybody else has any questions, again, they can put it into Moderator or raise their hand. Lucy, did you have a question?
Hello?
Lucy?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my hand. My computer is... I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I see a question from Robert, too. Robert, did you have a question?
Well, my question that I posted, or I thought I posted, was, do you set up your poll questions before class and save them somewhere so that you can just call them right up in class instantly?
Yeah, I think that would be the idea, to have something like a PowerPoint presentation, some slides to put up there that you can show the students as you go along.
But when do you, if you want the students to answer the questions, when do you set those up?
Oh, well, you can. The whole thing with InstaPoll is that they're not set up. It's just an A, B, C, D, E, F button. So, you know,
I want to ask a question to my class.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to sit there and type the question up during class?
Well, if you have something prepared before class, you certainly can use that. It's up to you. If you have something on the fly as well, that's one of the advantages of the quickness of this. Does that make sense?
InstaPoll's just the clicker. There's no question associated with it. And so you can ask a question and the students can click, and then if, Austin, if you go back to your InstaPoll screen, there's a button there that says reset the answers, and that clears out everybody's answer, and then you can ask another question and they can answer that.
Right, so.
Well, what does poll number 1258 mean?
It's just a session of InstaPoll that you ask as many questions as you want. But it's not saving any.
Specific question.
I'm sorry?
I thought that poll number 1258 was a specific question, not the whole session.
No, that's just basically the login number for the student. And see, once I hit that reset button, now it all goes away, so you can ask the next question. And that's the idea, to kind of keep the screen up, and you can just keep hitting reset. And the students.
So you just ask the question verbally, and the students just click the answer, and then you reset.
Yep.
I got you.
Yep. You can do that, or you can set up questions beforehand, but that's up to you.
You made it too easy. I was trying to stop it.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. I think there's one more. Thaddeus, did you have another question, or is that from earlier?
Oh, yeah. Well, my question was, and I'm afraid if this repeats something, but let's say you wanted to refer back to the results of a poll, either for your own purposes in class planning or maybe just to make the point in a following class, right? Like, remember last time you all said, I asked you this and this is how it came out, that's why we're going to spend more time on such and such. Is there a way to retrieve the results later, or would you have to basically print your screen right from the classroom?
There's nothing within InstaPoll, but I was thinking that you could do a print screen and save that image in a Word document or something like that. But there's nothing officially within InstaPoll to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.